Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Real Heroes Show. You got Corey and Nick with you here as always. And in today's episode, we're talking spoilers. You have been warned on episode 10 of Star Wars The Bad Batch, which was entitled Common Ground. Again, spoilers. If you have not watched this, go back to Disney Plus, check it out, then come see us. Nick, I want to over-under on when you think my ring light is going to go out in this video, because it's gone out in the last couple that we've did. I'm going to say the over-under is 6 minutes. Do you think it's going to happen before that or after that?
I'm going to go over.
All right.
Yeah.
It's going to last longer than that? Okay.
I think so. I think this time, yeah. We'll
folks, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay through to the end to see if my ring light stays on. All right, so let's dive into this episode. I'm going to be real straight up with you. I wasn't super keen on this one. Not for any of the technical reasons. I thought the animation was beautiful. The music was great. All that stuff. The action sequences were fun, as they always are. But I felt like this one didn't really advance the plot all that much. And after the last 2 weeks where we got the reintroduction of Cad Bane, and then the Cad Bane Fennec Shand fight, and the Bad Batch rescuing Omega, all that stuff was so good. And then to come to this was just kind of like they had to pull back a little bit. And I wasn't a super huge fan of it. But Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, this episode definitely felt like filler to me, and there were only a few.
The dreaded F word.
Yeah, oh. I hate using that, especially in Star Wars, but this really did feel like an old school, I say old school, but maybe going back 13 years ago, like Clone Wars type filler episode that doesn't really advance the plot. It's just there, something happens, it's like the event of the week sort of thing. And again, there's maybe only one or two key interests here that we have, and it's all thematical. And like we were talking before, if they cut this whole episode out of the season, I wouldn't miss it. It probably wouldn't further anything, unless we're wrong and in the last 6 episodes we see something where this ties in well enough. I think if I were to take a wild guess here, it might be something that Omega does something strategic, because she's good at strategy, because she beats a bunch of I don't know.
There's an Ithorian and a Weequay.
Yeah, like a bunch of aliens, and
schools them in hollow chests.
Yeah, so you got a clone that's better than these adult alien species. So okay.
Yeah, so let's break that down. So this episode, the Bad Batch gets called on a job from Sid, which is after last week where they were like, we should probably lay low for a while, and then Sid's like, no, you won't. You got a job for me, and you're still in debt, so get your ass out there and do some stuff. So they decide that they're going to go on this mission to a planet called Raxus to rescue a senator who's standing up against Imperial occupation. They tell Omega to stay back with Sid because they need her to keep a low profile and not do anything, basically, because she's under the radar of the Empire. She's under the radar of the Kaminoans, Cad Bane, Fennec Shand. Everyone in the galaxy is after the kid at this point. So they tell her to stay at home. But turns out that she helps Sid with some of her Dejaric moves. And then Sid starts using her to win some money, which is interesting. That's kind of fun, because now the Bad Batch is no longer in debt to what she's doing. And like you said, this could be some simple foreshadowing that Omega, now that we know that she's a direct clone of Jango Fett, who was a feared bounty hunter in the galaxy up until I was just about to say Nick Fury. It's not Nick Fury, it's Mace Windu. Mace Windu lopped his head off on Geonosis, but yeah, so that kind of sidelined Omega, which to me, like, the relationship between Omega and the Bad Batch is kind of the heart of the show, and then almost for no reason split them up, which I thought was kind of weird. But Imperial occupation, that doesn't seem like much fun. Like the imagery at the beginning of the episode where those little walkers were coming in, and it kind of felt like the Empire was just coming into that planet and taking over and saying, yeah, we're here to be your friends and we're here to help you, but obviously that's not really the case. So, that all that stuff looked beautiful. I mean, right? Like,
yeah, visually it was great. The planet looked cool. Obviously, the amount of civilians were. There's a lot that was going on, like on screen, which was cool to see.
Yep.
As the transition from the regs to stormtroopers, you can kind of see like their like similarities in their behavior, even though some are clones and some aren't over the next 30 years. But I think one of the interesting things that, again, maybe some parallels where the stormtrooper, rather the clones, the regs, are easily distracted by the RG-8 and to go around the building.
Yep.
And they chase after. It was very reminiscent of Return of the Jedi when Han taps a scout trooper in the back and he's like, "Hey!" and runs around the corner and he's like, "Ugh!"
And he runs right into the attack.
Yeah, exactly. And then it happens again. So, again, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but just something that reminded me of Episode 6. And
sure, and still fun. There was some fun stuff in this. We got those action sequences.
Parts,
when Hunter went on the attack and he was like sliding through, stunning people and flying through the air and whatnot. I like that a lot because you finally got the chance to see him more in his element. Right. He's been more like the dad in this series because of his relationship with Omega, which is kind of weird because she's probably older than him in the grand scheme of things, right?
It's yeah,
because she's first gen. Somebody posted that on Twitter after the episode last week, and I was like, oh damn, she's older than all of them, but she's the kid in this situation.
She looks like a kid. He looks like a grown man.
Exactly. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I also thought Sid's nicknames for all of them, like Goggles and Bandana, were pretty funny.
Her calling Hunter Bandana.
Great. Because all I could think of was like Arnold, Chuck Norris type stuff. When you see that character, Metal Gear Solid or whatever, when you
John Rambo, Sylvester Stallone,
like your action hero prototype is slotted into Star Wars. But I would say for me the most interesting thing about this episode was the conflict that the members of the Bad Batch felt because the planet they were going to and the senator that they were rescuing, it's a separatist planet.
Yeah.
And the Bad Batch, being clones fighting in the Clone Wars, they fought for the Republic against the separatists. But now the Republic is dissolved. It's the first galactic empire. And now they have to kind of fend for their own and, go where the money's at. And that meant rescuing a separatist leader. It wasn't Newt Gunray because he got taken down by Mr. Vader himself. But what did you think about that? It seemed like they had a little bit of a struggle, just taking that job to begin with and then going through with it once they got to the planet.
Yeah, they had to come to terms with themselves and realizing things have changed and a job is a job. And I'm sure many of us have worked jobs or done things we didn't really like doing. It might have gone against what we were, I'm not going to say programmed to do, but things that we wouldn't really want to do. And of course have had to do them just because it's like, hey, gotta get paid, so
survival is important, right?
Exactly. So this is not just for them, but it's also for protection for Omega. And again, it also sort of proves something to them that they're more capable of just following orders against what they think is wrong, because what they thought was wrong before doesn't really matter anymore. So it's like the Separatists aren't really the bad guys. They're realizing the Empire, the Galactic Empire is, they're the real enemies.
Yep.
And their homeboy is working for them, and again, they don't like doing that either, but they have to. So it's they're being forced to change. And there's one thing that we can see a lot through this season is that they're evolving steadily. And we're now 10 episodes deep into post Order 66.
Yep.
And it's like there's a lot more that they're understanding with the chips embedded in their brains.
Yep.
The ruling of the galaxy takeovers, more to their cloning sequences on Camino and another off-world factory. So like, there's a lot that's happened for them. And again, not all that happens in this episode, and we'll see how, again, like where this goes. But
right.
I think for the slight theme of evolution here for them and forcing things that they're not really wanting to do is maybe like the only like real plus moment for me in this episode.
It's the saving grace for sure, but that kind of goes along with change has been a thematic concept for this entire show, right? Because we're in that galaxy-wide transition period, so everything is changing. The Jedi are gone, the Sith have ascended, the Republic's gone, the Empire's here, bounty hunters are working for this person, then working for that person, loyalties change, all that kind of stuff. So maybe in these final 6 episodes, some of this stuff will catch up and tie in, and I hope it does. But I mean, again, it felt like one of those things where the episode was cool, but not 100% necessary, and didn't really drive things forward. And now that we're getting into what's now going to be the final 6 before this season or possibly show is over, because we don't know if it's going to be a multi-season thing or if it's just a one and done. I really hope the focus shifts back to the main plot and the main story next week. So I think for me, I'd probably give this one like a 6 out of 10, and that might be a little bit on the generous side. But that's to me it was the weakest one so far. But I don't know, what do you think?
I was gonna say a 6. I don't know if it really deserves anything higher than that, which is unfortunate to say, because I think, again, every episode prior to this moment has been much higher, at least a 7+, if not, I think we've probably been averaging around an 8 to the entire show thus far. And so this episode is kind of it was like a little what? Why? Dave, what is this? And again, nothing against what he's trying to do, and I don't know if it was like, hey, we need to have an episode, like fleshed out here. Let's just do this, like a simple filler thing.
Maybe they were told we needed 16 episodes.
Right.
Let's just come up with a fun side story to take up that slot, and then get back to the A plot in the next episode. So we can only hope on that. So still, like, every Friday is fun because it's like, oh man, there's new Star Wars, and I'm never going to say no to new Star Wars, and I will watch it and enjoy it for what it is. I probably won't rewatch this one like I did the last 2 a couple times, because I thought the last 2 were so excellent. But hopefully next week we'll get right back on the horse and get back to it. So my light is still on all the way at the end of the video.
Wow.
Mobius M. Mobius. Bye. So I would love to hear from you guys. We love making these videos for you. We've got a ton of new subscribers over the last month, so hopefully y'all are checking these videos out and also enjoying the content the same way that we are. But we'd love to hear from you. Drop us a comment below and let us know, did you think this episode kind of just sat there and didn't really go anywhere, or did you think this was a valid entry into the series? Drop us that comment, let us know. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can do that for free by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your notifications, so that way you don't miss any new videos from us. And make sure to stay tuned next week. We're going to have a review of the Tomorrow War on Amazon that just dropped this week. We're going to have a new review of episode 5 of Loki. We'll have another Bad Batch episode, and then, depending on how quickly we can do it, Black Widow comes out next week as well. So we hopefully will have a review of that too. So chock full of content. It's a great summer for movies and TV shows. So until next time, see you guys in the next video.
Peace.